Oh, hello and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him, and today, unfortunately, I am here to talk about why we need to be selling Justin Herbert in Superflex Dynasty Fantasy Football. And it is unfortunate because it's not Justin Herbert or anybody's fault except for the organization for signing Jim Harbaugh, a move which may end up being good in the long run in real life for the Chargers, but a move that is really, really bad for Justin Herbert and his fantasy football output for the next couple of seasons. And the real issue with Justin Herbert is volume. As a Justin Herbert manager, I was in denial. There are some analysts who were saying that they were a little bit more optimistic about his volume going forward under Jim Harbaugh, but the consensus in the community is that this is a bad thing for fantasy football purposes for Justin Herbert. So I decided to dig into the stats, and here is what I found. So I compiled these stats and put them into a little tweet. Please follow me at JMJKS on X. So I went back and looked at Jim Harbaugh's most recent history with the NFL with the 49ers, where he had two main quarterbacks, Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. So I dug into the stats for passing yards per game from 2011 to 2014, and what I found was disturbing. In 2011, Alex Smith was the 27th quarterback in passing yards per game. Scrolling down in 2012, 31st and 34th, Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. Then Colin Kaepernick took over in 2013, where he was the 31st ranked quarterback in passing yards per game, where Alex Smith was 23rd for Kansas City. Kansas City back in the day, of course, you have to remember, sucked at the time. And that was a significant bump up from his previous year with Harbaugh, where he was 31st in the NFL. Harbaugh's final year before he went back to Michigan in the NFL coaching for the 49ers, Colin Kaepernick started again, where he was bumped up to 24th in the NFL in passing yards per game, where Alex Smith continued to improve, being 21st in the league. So that's massively concerning. I get it. It's 2014. Maybe things have changed. Maybe Harbaugh has changed his ways. So I looked into his last season with J.J. McCarthy, who is projected to be a top 10 drafted player in this upcoming draft. So he is a very good football player, and how he fared compared to the rest of the NCAA. And what I found was even more disturbing if you're a Justin Herbert manager. In 15 games, so of course they're counting the playoff games, J.J. McCarthy was ranked 53rd in college football in total attempts. So most college quarterbacks this season, of course, only had 13 games or so opportunity to pass, and J.J. McCarthy unfortunately averaged 22 attempts per game, a lot lower than the average for college football. And of course, I had to compare that to the opportunity that their running back Blake Corum got under the Harbaugh regime, and he was ranked 8th in total attempts in college with 17 attempts per game. So for that reason, I'm seriously concerned about Justin Herbert's output for the next few seasons, as long as Harbaugh is in charge, and I expect him, even if it goes badly, he will be the head coach there for 3 years, because they are kind of rebuilding. They are currently over the cap. They have to get under the cap by the end of the day, as of today when I am recording. So if you're rebuilding, I would stay put with Justin Herbert. Just ride out this Harbaugh experience for the next 2 to 3 years, and then rebuild through the draft. If you are trying to win now, I would make a solid attempt to trade away Justin Herbert. But it's not all bad news, because you can get an absolute haul for Justin Herbert at the moment. He is currently considered the 8th best asset in Dynasty Superflex leagues, according to South Harmon ADP, which is a pretty reliable source. This is going off of 423 total drafts so far. So basically, you could turn Justin Herbert into CeeDee Lamb or Anthony Richardson, even swap. That is what he's going for at the moment, which I think would be an absolute smash accept, in my opinion. As for the rest of the Chargers, Gus Edwards got signed there. He got signed to more of a backup running back contract. I would expect them to go ahead and draft Blake Corum to the Chargers, since Harbaugh played with him in college and was nice enough to give him 17 attempts per game. If that happens, Blake Corum will be the number 1 drafted running back in fantasy football. So if you're taking him in best ball, I think that's a pretty good option for where he's going at the moment. Keenan Allen, I'm a little bit less concerned about. The rest of the team, however, I am seriously concerned about their output for the rest of the season. I think the volume will be there for Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen is such a home run hitter sometimes that I don't think he is super dependent upon the volume, and he will be soaking up a lot of that target share over there in LA for the next couple of years. So I think ultimately this is a lateral move or maybe a slight upgrade for Gus Edwards, but the sky is literally the limit for him. If Blake Corum or whoever they bring in to start for them in the draft is injured, Gus Edwards will be thrust into the starting position and will be guaranteed probably 15 to 20 carries per game, which is great for fantasy football. I actually did a video where I reviewed a trade where I traded away Justin Herbert recently. I will put it right up here for y'all to click on, so please click and watch that video. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you're optimistic about Justin Herbert. Please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and good night.